way. So this was the plan.
I haven't heard from you in a long time.
It's approaching 6 p.m. on this August 24th, 2013. And we are just off the Fisk Road, and just over that way is the local Stewart's shop. We're behind the library, and we're here for a dedication of a gazebo on this very pleasant North Country evening. And we'll be turning our camera around and looking at the gazebo right here next to the little Chazy River in the heart of beautiful downtown Chazy.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming this lovely evening. We wanted to dedicate our gazebo, and we wanted to also thank everyone involved. That's why all of you are here today. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to have George Brendler give a little talk about the whole process of this project and how we came to have this wonderful addition to our community. I'm Tina Trombley, and I am the president of the trustees of the Chazy Public Library. So I will, without further ado, so that George can give some information about how we came to this point. George Brendler.
She didn't say that I'll talk forever, so I'll try not to. I'll make it brief. I have a dream. Does that sound familiar? Today is the anniversary of that speech, and I thought it was fitting, to hear that same speech. I say we all have dreams, and I had a dream this morning. Beautiful day, I hope. This will be, for us. And it was. It's a simple dream. 45 years ago, I had a dream fulfilled. It was a bigger dream. My house. I moved in my house. Some time back, Stout Spiegel, our supervisor, had a dream. He wanted to have a gazebo out there on the non-existent green or town lawn, which doesn't exist, so he wanted to put it on the school lawn. And at the time I was still working at the museum, and they tried to get some kind of wiring for it. The idea that the museum would provide wiring for the gazebo and have, like other towns have, beautify the center of town. Well, it didn't come off. But Stout did have a dream, and this may be partially fulfillment of it. Emily Castine had a dream, many years, about a building that would be a little bigger than our old Hubble building. That kind of took a long time. She worked at it for 30 some odd years, but she accomplished that dream. We have a building, and it's finished, and she has fulfilled her dream. I hope. There are there are always other things to do. But Norm had a dream. He wanted somehow to memorialize a friend, someone important to him. And this is the occasion we're fulfilling his dream. This is the occasion why we're here. I kind of thought that we should cover how and why we are here. Well, initially, the board had goals and visions for the library. I don't want to spend time on the library. We've covered that before, but we fulfilled that dream because of Emily's efforts early on, and we got Dr. Clark's building and property. And the library needed much space outside. We know about the inside now, but the space outside and room for children's activities, egg rolls, story time, maybe musicals, whatever. We wanted to have that, and we have kind of achieved that. How we got to that was, of course, we had grants and we had lots of generous donors, willing donors, give us money towards the building and the facility here, the parking lot, all this was kind of done with grant money, no tax money involved. We wanted to expand the property beyond just the building inside, which of course is very important to everyone who is involved with library, getting the information and using the media and all that. But there is more to our job as a library board. Our main effort is to, at least we said this in our grants too, that in our SHPO paper, for instance, we had to write a paper whether we were going to do anything with this building, because it's could have been a historical building. Well, it turned out we didn't have to stick with those guidelines, but we were trying to meet the historical aspect of the town, try to fit in, keep the property looking like it was before, and keep the character of the center of the village and perhaps enhance it beyond just what we had inherited. Make it look even better, because we're trying to have a corridor, a historical corridor through here that will bring in visitors, and when people come by, tourists coming by, hopefully they get a good impression of our town, and the outside is the first thing they see. Having a facility like this with the extra gazebo that didn't, and of course rock garden that we have here, we couldn't have that on the lawn, we have it here. So the unfortunate thing was, of course, with the grants, this area was not included. We couldn't include this. We had two other features. One was a garden shed over there, and possibly a gazebo. So at the time, or when we finished the grants last year, we put it on the website and on Facebook, and asked for donations. Of course, we're fortunate to have someone step forward, and we proceeded with getting the gazebo. The timeline really for this facility here, I mean, this didn't just occur overnight. 4 years ago, that's 2009, Dr. Clark died. We received the property in August. Right around now, we found out we had the property. It took us a year before we could get on the property, get possession, and actually take possession and work on it. But that spring of 2010, my son John and I wandered around here, and there was a jungle back here. Beside, right past where the yellow poles are there, from there back it was all woods. There was a lot of work to be done. So until 2010 in the fall, we couldn't do much, but then we had some work around. We removed trees out there, but this section, actually, the main thing that occurred here was a couple of prisoners from Altona Correctional Facility came and cut down the trees and cleared it out, and there was still a lot to be done here. And then the next spring in 2011, we came out, John and I cleared that area right there, tried to get logs and rocks, and we spent a lot of time on it. I'm patting myself on the back for the work, because I'll tell you, we did work hard. We moved some rocks that we didn't think we could move. And that same spring, we were working on the building, but at the same time these things were going on, looking forward to this possibility of having something up here, because everybody noticed, hey, this would be a nice place to have a garden, so, or a rock garden or a gazebo. So we started working on it, and people like Giroux's, the American Legion had some fill. They brought it over here. Roger Rushford came in with a front end loader and kind of leveled, and it was very uneven, and so it needed a lot of work. Anyway, we filled that and leveled it out, and we even had like samples a couple of times. Samples provided us with a mini tractor that John used, and we tried leveling. There was a lot of rocks that there's a history that we don't really know, but there's a lot that's gone on here before our time. This was a tannery, and there were other buildings here. Even the parking lot, we ran into a base of a building, and it's interesting. It was interesting. The bottles I'd find, that was another whole thing. We found little things we pick up and look at. It was like an archaeological dig, you know, just kind of enjoyed that. So that was in 2011, and then 2012 we had, one other person came from the town, you know, people kind of, Ricky Munson and his son came over with a mini tractor and worked on this little hillside so that we kind of cleared out where we knew where the rock section was. And there were big trees up here, and his son, Lee, Eric, chainsawed, this was much lower, chainsawed the stumps and got it so that we could put gravel in there. So then we ended up moving some gravel in here. Our contractors brought us some gravel. 1 year it sat. Last year, or this spring actually, we got the some more gravel, and our neighbors helped us. We built up the gravel and got ready for the gazebo once we knew we had a gazebo. And so we arrived at this point where for 3 months, really, we spent a lot of time out here. I don't mean every day, but we, John and my neighbors in particular, we spent quite a bit of time on getting ready and then filling and doing the garden section. So I would really like to recognize these people. I think volunteerism is great, and it does wear you out, but it's great. It's fulfilling when something like this happens. You know, it's worth having done it. The board, our board members, we have Debbie Powers here, our money bag, the one that doesn't want to spend money, treasurer, and Kristen McAuliffe is a new member, and there's Tina, our president this year, and Tina, and especially her husband, volunteers. Her husband volunteers a lot, but he helped with putting the light in here. Tina helped with the gardening aspect of it. So as board members, you know, it's all volunteer work. Also, I have to go back to those members of the board. Oh, Jim Meehan is not here, so yeah, counted on. You know, he's part of the board. I'm sorry he couldn't make it. He's on vacation. And former members of the board. We cannot forget, as I mentioned earlier, Emily Castine being involved with the vision and the goal that we were looking for. And this is the extension of it, and this is kind of an embellishment. Like you said, this is like frosting on the cake, because it's extra. We got beyond just what we could get from the grant. So we're very, very happy about that, that Emily has been involved in this, and she left the board that we sadly missed with all her enthusiasm and just a lot, a very hard worker. And another person I feel got to mention was Angela Swan was on the board for a short period of time, but she was very much involved with the gazebo. She was one of the main supporters, saw the vision of this. That would be nice for the town. People will ask questions. So she was very supportive of whatever I tried to do about the gazebo. And then we had the contractors. Jimmy, where are you here? Jim West and Kevin Beeman. They worked on the building, and they worked for you know, it's contractors, but they also did a lot of volunteer work. And the biggest thing that I want to recognize them for was I picked their brain, and they're willing to give me advice, and they were also willing to say, you know, that's not going to work. You know, sometimes people say, oh, okay, we'll do it. You know, it doesn't work, but we'll do it and pay for it. So, you know, good money after bad didn't occur, because these guys have been very, very helpful. And I really appreciate all the effort and time that they've given us. It's nice to have the local people involved in these projects. And of course, they'd like to support the library, right? In fact, I just saw Jill over here this morning. And then, how could I not mention my own son, John, somewhere around here. For how many years is he doing this? You know, whatever, he can come over and give me a hand as a volunteer. We worked at this, as I said, this spring was quite intense tiring, but then the other part was too. However, anyway, thank you, John, for all your efforts. And sitting right next to him, I should thank somebody else, and that's my wife, because she used to say, I don't live at home. You know, people call, she'd say, he doesn't live there anymore. Well, all right, how did this come about? Well, the reason is, I'm a board member, yes, but I was a project manager, and this kind of continued on. So, and I'm for a while, I was the only man on the board, so therefore, it wasn't because I was bookish. I mean, I read a book every couple of months, you know? but it's because I was handy, you know. That's how they got me on the board, really. Somebody could fix, drive nails, whatever. So anyway, thank you, Janet, for putting up with that. And of course, I can't say enough about these people. Our neighbors, the Higginses, it's Mary Higgins and Jeff Higgins. Would you stand up back there? There we go. I didn't ask the other people because I knew you knew them, but they're our new neighbors, and they have just amazing the amount of work that they have done. Mary is just a bundle of energy, and I mean, I come over here and I see her weeding the garden, the flower bed over there, you know, where she helped plant all these flowers. I worked with her. Her sister Bonnie came and helped. So, and Jeff has the backhoe, and he's over there moving, you know, and they stop and help me. So, one hand washes the other. We're neighbors. We share a property line, and I hope we can maintain that relationship. And I really, really want to thank you for all the help that made this possible. And at that point, I think we have reached the point where you can take over and proceed with the dedication and ribbon cutting. Thank you.
George is a dynamo, and we couldn't have done anything without all of his hard work and labor and sweat, and I do appreciate all of you have done for the library and our community. Thank you very much, George.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, the reason we're here is to dedicate this lovely gazebo to a very special person that I was not privy to knowing, but I'm sure he's here somewhere. I think he's here, and I hope that he is very pleased with what he and his very special person in his life are sharing with our community, because this is something that we're going to have in Chazy for a very long time. We're going to have people wanting graduation pictures here, or baby baptism pictures, or wedding pictures. And this is just a wonderful addition to our community. And it's generous people like yourself, Norman. I'd like you to come up to do this dedication. He has a few words to speak, and we're very privileged to have you as part of the Chazy community.
I wish I could be as eloquent as my predecessors, but I'm going to be very brief. As Tina mentioned, Dan would have been thrilled with this outcome. The flowers, he was an avid gardener, and he would be very pleased to see what happened. I'm glad I was able to contribute to this process and help bring it to fruition. I'm sure the community will enjoy it. I'd like to thank Mr. Brenler. I ran into him last year, and Francie and Tina, we started talking a little bit about the possibility of making a contribution, and they were happy to allow me to dedicate this in Dan's name. So thanks for coming, and I'd like to thank you for helping me remember my husband Danny Wood. Here's a picture of him. I have some more of these if anybody would like one. He passed away in 2013. We were together for 17 years, so thank you.
So George, the scissors for the ribbon cutting. If George would come up and Norman would come up. We'll do a quick ribbon cutting and.
In the car. In the car. Oh, I didn't have a duck under it.
Well, that way we don't have our backs to everybody.
There we go.
There we are.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Open cup. Yay!
Very special person.
Well,
Thank you very much.
And that's it. Have a good evening.
If you like to take pictures with a group or with family, you're welcome to take advantage of it right here. If anybody wants to go in and has not been in the library, we have it open. Anybody interested in going in? Okay, it's available to you. Thank you very much, folks, for coming.
Well, there you have it, the dedication of the new gazebo in back of the Chazy Public Library, and as you can see, it sits up on a hill, and there's a very nice place for people to come and on a warm summer evening or a nice fall day and sit and watch the river go by, and also a little place to sit by right by the river. Watch your step, especially if you're bringing youngsters there. The river is something that should be respected. So that'll wrap it up. Hometown Cable's coverage of the gazebo dedication here in Chazy Public Library. Beautiful downtown Chazy, August 24th, 2013. You're watching viewer-supported local television, Hometown Cable. TV we think is worth your supporting, and we thank the people who do step up to the plate and support our efforts. And if you're not able to support us, then at least thank the people who are offering their support, because it's their efforts that are making all this possible. Thanks for watching.